Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, hi, my name's Molly. I'm a mum in the UK of two children. I have a 4-year-old daughter and a nearly 2-year-old little man who my husband and I adopted through the UK adoption process last year. It has nearly been a whole year since we met little man at his foster home and brought him home. So instead of doing an age update, I wanted to do a year on from adoption update, or a year on from bringing home little man update, and talk about all the amazing things that he has accomplished in the last year, but also some of the things that we have accomplished as a family of 4 in the last year. So when we met little man last year, he was very much an infant. He wasn't walking, he wasn't talking, and a year later he runs around everywhere. He climbs on absolutely everything and anyone, and he doesn't stop babbling. He doesn't have a full vocabulary yet, but he very much says mama, da for daddy. He says big missus name. He knows milk, he knows more, he knows please, he knows ta, and then he has his own little alien language that he kind of starts to talk about to anybody, especially the neighbour across the road, who is one of his favourite persons in the entire world. I often pick little man up from nursery, and one of the practitioners will say that he's nearly climbed over the banister, he's nearly climbed over the gate. He's very much a climber, hands-on, loves tools, anything sharp, anything dangerous. I think he's going to be really interested in building things, dismantling things, filling things. That's what keeps him busy. So we found that he very much needs things in his hands to entertain him. He will not sit down for long. He has a very short attention span. So we often do a lot of things that are kind of quick activities. Theraplay works really well, and that we can kind of do, engage him with, and then move on before he gets bored or frustrated. Little man has since, in the last year, settled so well into nursery. We started the nursery settling at about 6 months post-placement, so he'd been home a while. I'd say that we were on the right path to developing a good attachment, at least with myself and my husband, where we started off with me taking him for an hour's play, leaving him for an hour, building up to half a day, then a full day, and then 2 days and 3 days and 4 days, and then bam, I was back at work, and little man is now in full-time nursery 5 days a week, which is a lot, but he started off in the baby room and was progressing really well. He seemed to be responding well to it. He didn't really regress in any areas, and he's recently moved downstairs and still seems to be keeping up with 5 days a week really well. It's something that we're kind of monitoring really closely with his key worker, with the nursery. Obviously, if he doesn't respond well to that at any point, then me or Hubs will look at reducing our hours and looking at a kind of better model going forward for him. But him and Big Miss seem to be loving that time together as well, and so far so good. One of the things I often get asked is, how is little man's development going? And I'm not really precious with development, to be honest. I'm just very much of the mindset that he will do things at his own pace. One of the things with children who have experienced trauma or neglect or loss is that you can often be told to expect some kind of development delay. So we kind of expected some development delay, but as of now, he's doing amazing. Nursery are not concerned, we're not concerned, social workers were not concerned when they were doing their visits pre-adoption order. Little man is coming up to his 2-year assessment, and the only kind of thing I guess that we're kind of not behind on, but not at the milestone chart, which I disagree with completely, is speech and language. But again, I'm not worried. He's saying words, he will do them in his own time. He can speak when he's 7 or he's 17, for all we care. We just want him to be a happy little chap, but he seems to be doing amazing. His understanding is phenomenal, and his physical development is way up there because we are knackered trying to chase him around all day. In terms of family and friends, our little man is just idolised by them all. He is spoilt rotten. He just is loved and has been loved from day one by all of our close family and the close friends in our support network. A lot of them have recently started to kind of develop an understanding of just how much transition he went through. A lot of my friends with kids of their own who are now kind of coming up to that age that he was at when he moved home, they're starting to to realise just how much of a huge thing that was for a little one, and kind of developing that empathy for that and for him, which is really nice to see. But yeah, he's just so special to everybody, and I think he just mesmerises everyone. But at the same time, he's no different to Big Miss. You know, he's not treated any differently. He's just Little Man, and I think that is just beautiful. Little Man also loves his family and our close friends. You just wouldn't know any different. He runs up to grandparents and cuddles them. They make his day. He has his little besties that are my friends' kids, and you know, honorary aunties and uncles that he just doesn't bat an eyelid at, because it's all completely normal to him and they just shower him with so much love. A lot of people still ask if we have a good relationship with Little Man's foster family, and yes, it could not be better. We keep in touch, we WhatsApp regularly, we send lots of pictures, we FaceTime on things like birthdays, we'll probably FaceTime on, you know, placement day, anniversary. They're coming to Little Man's christening. We try to meet up every couple of months, sorry. So yes, we have a wonderful relationship with them still. Little Man very much beams when he's around them, and he responds really positively to that continued relationship. And so that's something that me and husband are very much going to nurture and plan to nurture going forward. I think that it's such a huge part of who he is and his life story. You know, they gave him one of the best starts in life, and so I want that relationship to continue, and for him to have that opportunity to ask them questions and just have them there so he can talk to them about his experience in foster care when he's older. And that's really the end goal between us. We're both kind of working to the same end goal, and they love having that relationship with him just as much. He was very much one of their own, and when we meet up with them, it's just as if they've never been apart. He goes to them and remembers who they are, and they just, you know, soak him up. And Big Miss too, it's a very special relationship, and because it works, it's just amazing for everybody involved. In terms of life story work, we have also started very introductory life story work. Little Man isn't talking. His understanding of his story at this point is very limited for a 1-year-old. But again, adoption in the home is in everyday conversation. We watch films on it, programs on it. We have, you know, his life story book, which is phenomenal, and I might do a video on life story books and our kind of role in that. In the creation of that, I'm using that now that we've had some really good experience of that. We get the life story book out. It's in a place that both kids know where it is. We go through pictures just to kind of tell the narrative. At this point, Little Man just looks at the pictures and kind of familiarises himself with them. We have pictures around the house of birth family, which is really lovely for him. And so it's just a very normal part of our lives. Big Miss, especially being nearly 5, has a really, really good, strong understanding of adoption and Little Man's story and who birth family are and the role that they play in his life and our family life, and his culture, his mixed ethnicity. And so I envision that as he kind of gets to that age, that's where he'll really kind of start to have questions and get more of an understanding of how he came to be a part of our family, and the fact that he does have us and a birth family and a foster family and all that jazz. I also get asked a lot about how Little Man's relationship is with Big Miss, and a year ago when he first came home, Big Miss was just obsessed with him. Obviously, he was like a little doll. She wanted to dress him and change his nappy and just smush him and cuddle him, where he was the complete opposite. He was just like, who is this kid? Because he was technically, I guess, a COVID baby. At least all his understanding developed during COVID, and he'd not been around any other children before. So to have this really excitable, hyperactive 3-year-old, 4-year-old big sister kind of sweep in was very overwhelming for him. So it took some time. He needed a lot of space. We had to explain that and explore that with her, that he needed that time and that space. But 12 months on, they could not be closer. He is her shadow. He idolises her. She is the first person he wants to see in the morning. He's the one person that makes her laugh, and vice versa. She's so protective of him. She's the first person to run to him to comfort him, give him a cuddle. But they are just the sweetest things together. They are blooming gorgeous, and seeing them together just kind of instills in me and my husband that adoption was 100% the right choice for us, but also for Big Miss as well. I feel really emotional about it. I can't believe it's been a year, such a huge day. I've kind of got those emotions again that are kind of coming up that I felt taking little man from foster carers home, that were really bittersweet. The feeling of loss, the guilt's not there anymore, but that feeling of loss for him certainly is. And so I'm just going to kind of look after myself for the next few weeks, the next month, lots of self-care, and just kind of soak up lots of little man and Big Miss snuggles. If you guys do have any kind of adoption related topics you want me to cover, please just comment them down below, or you can message me on Instagram. My account handle is MollyMamaAdopt if you want to find me on there to share any of your experiences or ask any more questions about our story or about adoption in general. Please also subscribe to my channel for more adoption related content. I will try and keep up with it, but now I'm back at work, it's definitely more testing, so I have gone to every 2 weeks. It might have to go a bit longer, so just bear with me. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.